All right, it's that time again from 9 Channel 9 Court and Agent Court Scarborough. This is Toronto's breaking news. CP24. Hey, hello, I'm Nick Dixon. Welcome back to CP24's Great Debate Season 2, which is being aired on CP24 and right across our digital streaming sites. The rules, simple. We've chosen a random topic for our guests to debate. In segment 1, each guest will argue their side of the topic, and then in segment 2, each guest will refute the other's opinions, their rebuttals. When both debaters are finished, our in-studio panel will make their decision on who wins and moves on to the next round. So let's give you a sense of who's up today. First of all, starting with Jamie Ellerton, who of course has been on the couch sort of doing a little bit of last minute cramming here, getting prepared for today's debate. He's really studying his notes. And Will Wong coming up the stairs, but will he upstage Jamie Ellerton in round 1 tonight? We will find out. Then there's Scott Reid, our returning champion, back to see if he can defend his title. I had a chance to greet him on the way in this afternoon. And then Jamar McNeil, he set his out of office on, but will he upstage and get others out into the green room? That's what's happening today. So the in-studio panel, like we mentioned, carefully watching all of the action. There they are. Look at them. There's a tough bunch right there. Every episode, of course, is going to feature 2 rounds of debates. They've got their paddles at the ready. Each bracket will debate twice. And at the end of the debates, a winner will be determined by our 3-person panel. And with each debate, the brackets be whittled down until, of course, there is just one champion. Again, last time, Scott Reid featured tonight. But the first round right now, of course, is Jamie Ellerton and Will Wong. Jamie Ellerton. To my right, your left on the camera, is a founding partner of Canaptus and a frequent contributor, of course, to CP24 and CTV. And Mr. Will Wong, Toronto entertainment blogger, also a frequent guest on our programs. Great to have both of you here this evening, so good to talk to you. So let's talk about subject number 1 for this episode. Dealers eyeing the driverless car market. Well, they may be interested to note that it is anticipated to rise from 37,090 units in 2024 to 76,217 in 2035. That's according to Canadian Auto Dealer. Now, this growth is fueled by supportive government policies and high consumer demand for safer and more convenient mobility solutions. So what do you think? Here's the topic. Should there be self-driving cars? Jamie Ellerton, you are arguing that yes, we should have self-driving cars. You've got 2 minutes to state your case.
Self-driving cars are the future. Think of it. You're sitting in traffic. You're forced to look at the wheel. The OPP is going to ding you for a $500 ticket if you're on your phone. Why not enjoy it and relax? Self-driving cars are absolutely going to be the future. Not only are they going to be safer, think of you're driving around Toronto. How often do you get stuck by some jerk who blocks the box and you're stuck there waiting for 3 light cycles until cars finally start to move? I think they're going to be the future. They're going to be more convenient. The technology might not fully be there yet, but it's coming. And I think when you look at the convenience, more relaxation, I think it'll lead to fewer accidents. It's going to be safer. You'll be able to spend your time, instead of stuck behind the wheel having road rage, you'll get to do some road reading while you're commuting to the office or onto your next trip.
Okay, Jamie Ellerton stating his case there very succinctly there. He is in favor. So Will Wong, you are arguing, no, we should not have self-driving cars. State your case.
Of course, I'm normally very embracing of new technologies, but self-driving technology is just a technology I cannot get behind and get on board with, pardon the pun. I'm going to shoot straight facts at you. We're going to go back to August 2023, California. So there's this company called Cruise, as you saw in the opening shots. They are a company that operate robocars, which are self-driving cars. There was a self-driving car on the road, which a fire truck ran right into, causing 1 person to be injured. That tells me that that technology is not ready. The car stalled for no reason, okay, causing 1 person to be injured. If we look back over the past couple of years, there have been at least 75 incidences reported where self-driving cars just stalled. They're doing crazy things. They're running through yellow emergency tape, running into muddy ditches. They're running red lights. Emergency response drivers or workers, they have enough to deal with already. Why are we adding 1 extra complication that simply does not need to be there? Even more damning, around that time that fire truck incident occurred, there was a woman. She unfortunately was the victim of a hit and run, albeit it was a human driver. She got pushed under a self-driving cruise car, was driven along for about 20 feet at 7 miles an hour, leading to substantial injury. I mean, thankfully, I think she's okay. She won a settlement out of court. I mean, I love RuPaul's Drag Race, but that's not the type of drag race I like to see. Right. So, it just tells me that this technology might not be ready. It's half-baked. It just feels to me like corporate greed and return on investment.
Well, we got to leave it there. Okay, so they've stated their cases. Our panel, of course, is tallying up the points that each contestant has accumulated so far. We, of course, have 1 round to go before they determine a winner. Look at them, debating, pondering, flipping those paddles back and forth. Anyway, you are watching CP24's The Great Debate. Round 2, the rebuttals, coming up next here on CP24.
right, that went by fast. Oh
It
my
does go
gosh.
fast. It goes really fast. There's the bell, and welcome back to the great debate here on CP24. It, of course, is being aired on CP24 and across all of our digital streaming sites. We had a pretty feisty round one, but round two, here's the opportunity for each guest debater to refute the other's opinions, and at the end of the 5 minutes, our judges will vote for that winner. So let's begin the round two. This is the rebuttal. And a reminder, here's the topic. Should there be self-driving cars? Will Wong not on board with it? Now is your chance to open the rebuttal portion of the show here. Go for it, Will.
Jamie, you bring a great point up. It should be making our lives easier, but is it really self-driving technology? So say a self-driving car runs over a pylon. What's required is a lot of manpower. You have people behind the desk sort of examining what happened. You have a crew that come out and do a post-mortem on the whole situation. So that car is literally blocking the road for however long it takes to do this whole thing. If it was a human being just driving this car, they could have just gone out, inspected, ejected the pylon, and gone about with their day. How is this making people's lives easier? I'm trying to see. Let's look at the economy. How many people depend on the transportation industry to make a living? What are they going to do when we have self-driving cars on the road? What are we also going to do about global warming? I mean, these cars run on computers, which use up more energy and power, and that means more carbon emissions. All sorts of things. I just would love to see one of these cars in Brampton where stunt driving is like a thing, and Hamilton, Brantford. I just want to see this car on the road, see how it's going to do. Sure, these tests and studies, show great results, but I need to see. I'm not convinced that in the real world these cars are actually going to
All right,
be
JB,
safe.
convince us.
All right, dear panel, I think you need not give in to the fear of what Will is putting forth. The Wright brothers' first attempt to fly is not the Dreamliner you see in the air today that takes us around the world. Self-driving cars is going to be the exact same thing. This is a vote and investment in human ingenuity, in the ability to overcome and improve our lives. You're making the case to defend the elevator operator when the button works just as well, so people can go do more productive things and spend even maybe more time in their family. Imagine if you're able to do your grocery list, you're able to do some of your homework, do some of your evening chores on the road in the self-driving car, so that when you get home, you can be there with your family, present, as opposed to being distracted. Self-driving cars, the technology might not be there today, but I believe in humanity's ability to get it there, and I think it's going to be something that frees us up to be able to do more and realize more productivity.
We got under 2 minutes here. We'll keep it going. This is good. You guys are making some great points.
Listen, how lazy are we getting? Do we not have the energy to drive our own cars? Like, I get the benefits of being able to read a book while you're driving, like, honestly, but there are also studies that say people are getting nausea and car sickness while they're, doing these things. Like, what do you have to say?
Yeah,
to
but
that?
I think if you look at why people like taking the train, because it's more relaxed, you can do more. Self-driving cars gets you the convenience of being able to get where you want to go, when you want to go on your schedule, that kind of liberation you get while driving a car. With the autonomous to be able to do other things and not have to be white-knuckled screaming at those on the road. And again, I think the best argument in favor of self-driving cars is just look at all the bad drivers on the road, and now imagine they were more relaxed in the back seat jamming out to their music as opposed to raging white-knuckled on the road, putting your life at risk because, quite frankly, they're bad at driving.
Okay.
Well, you probably have the last word here. Go ahead.
I'm all in favor of AI to edit photos of yourself for Instagram, write a resume, but I'm not trusting my life with AI. I'm sorry, I'm not sold.
Okay, let's ding the bell there. That was a really good back and forth there. Appreciate the debate there. And I don't know, I've got an interesting thought on where this may be, but who knows? Jamie and Will, really, you guys talked through a lot of points here. So now it's over to the judges, and it looks like the judges are making their decision at this point. So judges, who is the greater debater of this round? Okay, that's one vote for Jamie. That's one vote for Will. Woohoo! That's 2 votes for Jamie,
Good
1 vote
job,
for Will.
Jamie.
Okay, so Jamie Ellerton is moving on. You are the greater debater in this round, and you're moving on to the next round of the show. Will, congrats.
Thank
you so much
you.
for being
Thank you
here.
for having me.
Jamie, congrats to you. All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, here we go. Round 2 is coming up after this. This is CP24's The Great Debate. 2 new guests, including the returning champion, and another exciting topic to debate coming up right here on CP24. All right, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Season 2, Episode 2 of The Great Debate continues here on CP24. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Of course, we're being aired on CP24 and right across our digital streaming sites. Congratulations, Jamie Ellerton, who moments ago won his debate against Will Wong. Jamie now proceeds on to our semifinal match. So once again, keep in mind, our in-studio panel, they are carefully watching, listening to every single word said by the debaters here. Look at them. They're just even touching up their hair. Every episode is going to feature 2 rounds of debates. You're looking great, Paul. Each bracket will debate twice, and at the end of the debates, a winner will be determined by our 3-person panel. Now, with each debate, the brackets will be whittled down until there is just one champion. So you see Adwoa and Nsiah-Yeboah is moving on to take on Josh Lewenberg. That's coming up tomorrow evening. And Jamie Ellerton has just beaten Will Wong. That was, of course, our match earlier this evening. So here is the next bracket. This is who's debating now. Returning champion, Scott Reid. Not only is he a returning champion to the Great Debate, but he was also maybe a lesser role, a senior advisor and director of communications to Prime Minister Paul Martin. Of course, Scott's now a principal at Festchuck Reid and serves as a political analyst for CTV News and CP24. And Jamar McNeil, a very brief intro, because everyone knows Jamar. He's the host of the afternoon show on Chum 104.5 with Josie Dye, who was also on this program.
Yeah, I heard it.
So it's great to see Chum 104.5 represented as well here. Gentlemen, here we go. This is round 1 of the show here, and here's the topic. Flight is possible for humans in the case of aviation. But the opportunity for humans to soar like a bird, well, that still eludes us, I guess, unless you're Red Bull. The BBC reported that scientists have determined the physical limits of invisibility. That's not looking very good for humans. We haven't figured out how to bring these superpowers to everyday life yet, but the question remains, flying versus invisibility. Which would be the more convenient skill, or I would argue even superpower, to have? Scott Reid, you are arguing for invisibility here, okay?
Yeah.
So let's hear it. You got 2 minutes.
All right, let's go. Now, invisibility, the most underrated, underappreciated of all the superpowers. And let's just start by talking about the invisible elephant in the room. Invisibility. Preferred superpower of perverts everywhere. We all know it, okay? You want to tiptoe through the ladies' shower. You want to be sitting in the corner of the dressing room. I'm sure it's not for you. That's not my thing either. Could be Nick's, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying. It doesn't matter if it's pervy, it doesn't matter if it's creep city. It demonstrates how powerful it is. If I am invisible, instantly I am catapulted to the status of the most powerful assassin in the world. I can walk into the headquarters, into the secret lair of any terrorist organization. I just take all their state secrets. I take all their military plans, all of their designs. I have it all. You cannot see. You cannot detect me. And, oh, what's that in my earpiece? Oh, I've just been ordered to commit murder. There you go. Chop, chop. A little invisible high karate. Down goes Kim Ung-jun. Deader than Donald Trump's dignity. I am telling you, it's no battle. Invisibility, unbelievably powerful. Last thing I would say.
Okay.
Marvel, going to be releasing the Fantastic Four movie later this year. Who's the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four? It is not the Thing. It is not Mr. Fantastic. It is not Johnny Storm. It's Sue Storm. Why? Because she learned how to use her invisibility as an offensive power, stretching it into a force field. She can put you in a tiny box, Jamar. She can choke off your oxygen.
There, Scott.
Invisibility
Scott
rules.
Reid making a very compelling case for invisibility. Jamar, you're going to make the case, though, for flying. So let's hear it. You've got 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, I actually am a comic book guy. And
Excellent.
I will tell you, the 3 most famous comic book heroes, I'll refer to them right now. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. All 3 fly.
They do not. Batman can't fly.
Of course he has. He has a bat plane. And he has wings that he uses to fly. Not, a superpower, but he aspires to fly. And that speaks to the human spirit. We have been trying to go up and up and up since the beginning of primates. We crawled, then we stood up, then we climbed up, then we built up. We fly with aviation. The next step is to fly ourselves, if we can. It appeals to the human spirit. It appeals to our higher being. We want to soar in the clouds and not hide in the shadows. That's what humans want to do. That's what I want to do, and that's what everyone watching wants to do.
Batman's kind of in the shadows.
Oh, well, when he needs to be, but he also flies. And I'll tell you,
in a plane.
Any woman...
Hold on, Scott. We got to wait for the rebuttals.
Any woman watching right now, the man of your dreams is coming to your house. Do you want him to sneak into your bedroom, or do you want him to fly to your balcony?
Ooh, let's wrap that one up
baby.
there. Okay, making a very compelling case here. I'm not sure which side I'm going for. I thought I knew where I was going, but okay, spirited debate for sure. So the judges right now, they're pondering that as well. We can see them. They're definitely not invisible, but their brains are probably flying right now. They're deciding who won that round. But there's still one round to go. We're talking about the rebuttals. This is the great debate on CP24 round 2, and those rebuttals are coming up next. Gentlemen, it's been good. Yeah. Hey, that's the bell. This is the Great Debate. Welcome back. I'm Nick Dixon. This is CP24's The Great Debate, being aired where else but CP24, and of course right across our digital streaming sites. This is round 2, the rebuttals, where each debater gets an opportunity to refute each other's opinions. There's that bell again. At the end of those 5 minutes, I'll ring this bell, and then the judges will be voting for a winner. So let's begin round 2, the rebuttals. This is where things can get pretty feisty. And here's a reminder for you of the topic, if you've forgotten the commercial break. It is this: invisibility versus flying. Which is the more convenient skill to have? You'll have 5 minutes combined to debate this. Jamar, you get the opportunity to rebuttal. Scott is all about invisibility and threw me under the bus a little bit, but please feel free to take him on now.
Sure. I mean, Scott, you're a political guy.
Sure.
In a world held together by checks and balances, invisibility has no place, because the minute you check it, it's null and void. It's no longer invisible. Someone is going to have to track that invisible guy, perv, operative, whatever it is, and he's no longer visible. He's actually visible. It's not a thing.
That's the beauty of it. That's what makes it so. Let's talk politics. Okay, so you're going to fly. Exactly how that's going to work. Okay, in the real world, like our geopolitics dictate that you're going to be tracked. You're on radar, man. You're going to be flying up there. You know what's going to happen?
Yeah, someone's going to hack the system, and they're going to figure out the guy's not visible anymore.
They're going to spin a bunch of MiGs. Next thing you know, your ass is going to be plastered all over the Bering Strait. They're going to shoot you out of the sky.
What are you going to do about the mental health crisis that's going to happen when everyone's scared that some invisible person's in their bedroom?
It's exactly where we want to be. That's what makes me, as an invisible man, so fierce. What a fighter I am. You can't see me coming. Where is he? Oh, my God. I'm getting hit in the ribs. I'm getting hit in the face. I can't find him.
Flight powers help mental health, because now everyone has aspirational
power. No one wants a superpower to improve their mental health. They want it so that they can defeat their enemies and reign supreme over others. What is a superpower?
Who are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of how feeble flying is when you think about it practically. I mean, imagine, just because you have the power of flight doesn't make you strong, doesn't make you invulnerable, certainly doesn't mean you can weather the elements. You get up 20, 30, 50,000 feet in the air. What are you going to be doing about the cold?
I aspire to a world where people are free.
You're going to need to
free to soar as high as their mind can comprehend.
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
take themselves or their loved ones, or save somebody in the process.
Beautiful.
Maybe even save their mind.
We're talking superpowers, not fortune cookies. Man, you're up there in 40,000
seeing the world from a literal bird's eye view.
So cool. What's your super handle going to be when you're wearing a parka, mitts, and a scarf? Are you going to be like Captain Frostbite, Sergeant Snowpants?
But I'm not going to be the pervy protector. That's not what I'm going to be.
Okay,
I'm going to be the highest man on the earth.
I'm going to be the most undefeatable fighter in the world, because you can't see me. Am I in front of you? Am I behind you? I will be the most powerful assassin.
You're going to be a fear to your neighbors and everyone around you. Where is he? Because when he's not here, he might still be
What good are you
here.
with flying? Just because you can move 10 feet off the ground, you can't fight anybody. You can't do anything. You don't even know if you can go fast. You can take down Christmas decorations. That's a big help, but that's about it.
Invisibility is reactive. Flight is proactive.
That
Invisibility
is exactly
fear.
Not true.
Flight is hope.
Flight is not
And in this
hope.
world, Mr. Politician, you know
fight,
what we need is not more fear. We need hope.
Dude, we're talking superpowers. I'm telling you right now, when Galactus shows up, I want someone who can take their invisibility powers and combat Galactus.
Are you talking about a superpower or mass manipulation?
Fly away. By the
because
way,
what I don't want to do is manipulate the population. I want to give them something to look up and say, I can do that too.
You know what inspires people about Superman? It's not the fact that he can levitate. It's that he's super strong. It's that he's invulnerable. It's that beams come flying out of his eyes, and he can beat the living hell out of threats that confront us. Superpowers fuel superheroes. It's about action, man. It's not about love and chapter
and covert
verse.
operations make fearful residents.
I want to make the bad guys fearful. Jamar, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. We got to defeat these people.
Every bad guy is someone's good guy, and you will be just as scared when someone gets your power.
Let me quickly jump in. What if everyone's invisible, though? Then what?
Not everyone's invisible. What? Read your comic books, man. Right? You are going to have the powers of a toad. You can fly. I am going to be invisible, and you guys are knackered because while you're sort of floating around and you're like catching flies, I am going to be moving methodically through the bad guys, taking away their firearms, destroying their ability to do harm, and people will throw a parade for me.
Invisibility is not a superpower. It is a mask of insecurity.
I
I don't want to be more insecure.
You take that back. I'm not insecure.
I want to be as secure, and I want the world to see me in my security and my
I
superpower.
don't think you understand what superpowers are about. You need to go to a Buddhist temple and unlock your serenity. I am talking
You
about
need to go to
using
therapy
power
because
to
you don't want to be
express your
seen,
might.
and I want you to see me for everything I am. On the highest mountain peak.
Okay,
and
listen,
above.
I think we got to wrap it up right there. Some soaring rhetoric and some dark corners of the world.
There we go.
That was a really fascinating debate. You guys really convinced me on both of them here. Quite a matchup. Okay, so the rebuttals have happened, and the judges now, it's in their hands, or should I say, it's in their paddles. So judges, who is the greater debater of this round? Let's take a look now. This looks like a challenging one.
Oh, man.
So, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Wow, this is taking some time. Scott gets one vote, Jamar gets one, and our returning champion, Scott Reid, gets a second vote. He's moving on again. Jamar, thank you so much. Love the optimism of yours. That was really great, Scott.
Jamar, you inspired me, brother.
Very nice. Get up. Hey, listen, that was great. Scott moves on.
What
And
a
hey, let's
blast.
bring Will and Jamie back in here because, of course, Scott is the greater debater. He's moving on to the semifinals. Of course, he's going to be taking on Jamie Ellerton, who's joining us back here with Will Wong. Of course, as we say goodbye, the CP24 is great debate. Hey, watch again tomorrow evening. We've got more exciting debates. The semifinals are coming up. Scott and Jamie, what are they going to do?
Was that right?
You're
Right
going to
on,
find out.
blonde on blonde,
That
just like Bob
continues.
Dylan.
Thanks so much, everybody. 9:30 tomorrow on CP24. That was really great.
That was awesome.
That was a lot.
That was fun. Thanks, Jamar. That was a blast.
That was fun.
great.
That was
Jamar,
fun.
Kept hitting me with